This video is sponsored by Kudos. Get yourself some extra cash back on credit card purchases you're already making. See the link in the description to learn more. Now with no further ado, let's bust open our new season of the 3K Challenge. For those of you who followed this adventure during Season 1, you'll recall that it was slow, inconsistent, and generally not that dank. But this is the dawn of a new market cycle. The time has arrived to kick things up a notch. Here's my plan. Number 1, I gotta put more buying power into my trades. I held at least 30% of my buying power as cash last season because I traded small, but a pair of Iron Condors each month isn't going to do anything for this portfolio. I gotta put more on the line. Number 2, 50% of each episode's gains will go toward an ETF to build out my long-term portfolio because that's important. The other 50% is going back into aggressive trades. And number 3, everyone has a plan until they get donkey punched, so let's prepare in advance for when a trade goes against me. Step 1 would be to do a barrel roll, and step 2 is to cut losses at 200% of that position. This simple 3-step model is going to keep the cash flowing like water as I build out my portfolio. So where do I commit my fresh $3,000 to start this season? From my point of view, there's only one obvious choice here: GameStop, the original meme stock. Meme stocks have been getting pissed on all year so far, but GameStop investors have this weird, almost fetishized obsession with the stock. All this inane banter on subreddits Superstonk and GME Jungle don't make any sense. Diving into these subreddits shows a culture in which every little bit of information, like a market order filling at 2 cents higher than expected, or hard to borrow fees increasing by 3%, is evidence of some grand conspiracy by hedge funds to defile GameStop and its investors. They believe that the default activity for GameStop is to go to $30,000 a share, and any day on which it doesn't do that is concrete evidence of manipulation. It's like watching poor people circle jerk at an MLM sales rally. GameStop is QAnon for retail traders, and although I don't believe a word of it, you know who made a ton of money off the QAnon people? The people who sold them merch. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna sell them stock options. Let's hop over to Aries, my new broker for this season, and check it out. Alright guys, today is the afternoon of Tuesday, July 19th, and I am topped up with a brand new $3,000 in my Aries account, and I am absolutely salivating at the chance to get into GameStop at the end of the week when this thing does its 4-to-1 split. Now right now at over $150, this is way too expensive for me to run any wheels. Right now the stock is pretty volatile, but if it were to split right now, that would make the price about $38. I'd have to sell my puts at the $30 strike to leverage my whole account. It's pretty far out of the money, but I'm really hoping that when this thing splits on Friday, it's going to cause this temporary drop in stock price so I can sell my $30 put, get some decent money, and hopefully get assigned, because I am dying for the chance to wheel this thing. Right now there's not a whole lot I can do, so we're going to sit tight and wait for Friday. Hey, good morning everybody. It is about 7 minutes to market open on July 22nd. So today is Friday. GameStop has completed its split. Luckily, the stock didn't run away too much, and it's about $37.50 right now. Obviously, I've got my 2-year-old with me today. You're all done. She's coloring on last year's tax forms, which is fine, because we don't need those anymore. We are going to wheel GameStop. Now, I've been excited for this split all week, and today is the day. Here's the problem. I only have $3,000 in this account. This is the Theta Gang 3K Challenge. So if I want to wheel GameStop, expiring today, selling puts, I can't sell any higher than the $30 strike. That's only giving me 24 bucks. And even if I go to next week, child,
What's it?
what do you want?
I broke it.
What's broken?
Yeah.
It's a mechanical pencil. You tap the top.
What's the top?
Here, now it's ready. Take it back. Okay. I wouldn't be able to sell a put at any higher than the $30 strike. And even if I go to next week, that's only $159. It's not bad, but this is GameStop. I think I can do a lot better than that. So I wanted to avoid taking my money out of my Robinhood account, but now I've got $500 of Season 1 winnings that I can bring over to this account, and that'll allow me to sell the $35 strike. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to start with a pure slate, $3,000, but if I get a chance to wheel GameStop at 35 instead of 30, I think that's the approach I'm going to take. And I'd love to ask for permission before I do that, but you know what? I made some money on Season 1. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough that it'll put me in a good position to start wheeling. And look at the premium on that. Just today, $113. And if I were to go to next week, the premium, $540. I mean, come on. That's like 12 shares. Maybe a little more than 12 shares. I gotta do it. It's Pez. You don't... Yeah, you just open it and then you just take one. Here. Today, I'm going to be forced to sell my 3,000. Today, I'm going to be forced to sell my $30 put. And then over the weekend, I'm going to transfer over that $500. And then next week, I will wheel at the $35 strike. But today, I'm excited to get into it. I just hope the stock doesn't go flying and I get priced out. All right, everybody, the clock just hit 9:30. It is time to sell puts on GameStop. So let's click over here. Stock's down a little bit. It's recovered from some of its pre-market drop. Let's go over to options and let's start selling puts here. So expiring today, going down to the $30 strike, putting the whole account on it. What's it worth? $6. This isn't even worth it. I'll add some voiceover here because my daughter was pretty distracting at the time and I couldn't really record very well. So what I decided to do here was not sell this option, and instead I was going to just wait until my money transferred over from Robinhood, and that way I could continue with $3,500 instead of $3,000. Here we are on Tuesday, and my $500 from last season cleared on Aries, so I can finally start wheeling. Fortunately, GameStop is down to about 32.5, so that actually puts me in a better position than if I started wheeling last week. Unfortunately, I have to do this on mobile because I'm at my mother's house in New Jersey and I'm currently cleaning her roof. But trading GameStop is a perfect reason to take a break. Very importantly, I had a dream last night that GameStop rose $2 in the next 48 hours. Versus the current price of $32.60, that means GameStop will hit about $34.60 this week. So I am going to perform a buy right to start my wheel, and buy 100 shares at the $32.59 limit, and that should fill with no problem. The reason I'm not just selling a put is because I want to be long 100 shares and then sell an out of the money covered call. This would be pretty much the same thing as selling an in the money put, but mentally it's more comfortable for me to buy the shares and then sell an out of the money call rather than to sell an in the money put. Alright, I'm starting off down a little bit, but that's okay, I got my fill. Let's go back to the options chain, and I will target this week's expiration. I'm going to look to sell the $34 strike. Now the reason I'm choosing this one is because my dream indicated that GameStop will go up $2, so that's $34.60. The covered call at $34 offers $52 premium, so if my dream is realized, then I'll collect a gain on the shares, and the covered call would pretty much break about even. But let's be real, dreams are not very good DD. So I am hedging against this premonition being false and hoping to collect both premium and unrealized gains on the shares. If I really believe that dreams told you what to invest in, I would just buy calls on GameStop. Alright, you know what, let's just get this order filled so I can go back to cleaning the roof. I will update this and ask for only $46. I'd like to sit around and stare at this until I get a fill above 50, but it's pretty hot up here on this roof and I just want to wrap this up. And okay, we're in on GameStop. Apes Together Strong. While this trade runs its course, let's take a look at Kudos. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss this message. This sponsor is a good one. When we use our credit cards for online shopping, it can be hard to tell which one is going to give us the most rewards for our purchase. We might get rewarded in miles, cash back, or points, and how the merchant is classified will dictate which one is best. The Kudos browser extension pulls that information for you unless you compare these rewards in their cash value to make a recommendation. Plus, I don't know about you guys, but those added benefits like fraud protection and free returns, I don't even know which card gets what. Kudos lays all that out for you at checkout. Based on your spending patterns, Kudos may recommend, hey, with your shopping habits, this new card would earn you twice as much cash back as what you're currently getting. Consider applying for the Platinum Uber card. It takes about 2 minutes to join Kudos, and if you want to, you can have it pre-fill your checkout screens with its encrypted features. Make your online shopping easier and more rewarding like I do with Kudos. Check the link in the description to learn more. Okay, it's about 2 minutes until market close on Friday, July 29th, and GameStop is hovering just above my $34 short strike. I could just close now and take the gain, but I'm going to let this ride until market close. GameStop could go either way in these last few minutes. Now, whether I get assigned to sell at $34 or not, it's fine either way. If I do get assigned and lose the shares, I'll sell an at-the-money put expiring next week for about $150. Maybe I'd go a little bit out of the money, but I'd stay pretty close to $34. If I do not get assigned, then I'll continue selling covered calls into next week. I'll probably sell slightly out of the money, maybe the $34.25 strike, and collect about $127. No big deal either way. My Aries challenge is off to a good start, up a little over $180 on the week, or about 5%. SPY calls would have done even better, or even just shares of Triple Q. But there will be just as many weeks in which the market is flat or red, and I'm still pulling GameStop premium. It just ticked 4 o'clock and GameStop is just a hair above my short strike at 34.01. It could drop further after hours, but I'll likely get assigned, which kind of sucks since it's only 1 cent in the money. But no big deal, I'm going to catch 19 and Dublin House in Red Bank, New Jersey tonight to enjoy swordfish and beer, and I'll be ready to do this wheel again next week. Well, it looks like Aries isn't suitable for the 3K challenge after all, at least not yet. If I trade on a margin account to have access to all features, I need at least $5,000 to sell options. That's an industry-wide rule, not just Aries. Aries did offer me $2,000 cash so I could just start with $5,000, but that's not the spirit of the 3K challenge. I'm supposed to be working my way up. And if I use a cash account like I'm doing now, my buying power doesn't settle until Tuesday after assignment. I need to be able to trade on Monday, so this won't do. Unfortunately, I'm still stuck in this abusive relationship with Robinhood until I save up enough money to leave. People say, oh, Vlad's manipulating you, you need to run. And they're right, but I don't have enough money to leave. But luckily, I still kept my Robinhood account open as a personal account, unrelated to the 3K challenge. And even luckier, I recorded myself liquidating that account for another video about the GameStop split, and then placed a $35 short put. Basically the same thing I did on Aries, and even ended up with a similar account value since it was basically the same trade. I'm just going to salvage that footage for this because it's too late to make a GameStop video. I went on vacation instead, and we're going to go back to Vlad until I can collect some more returns and then go on margin on Aries. By the end of week 1 on Aries, I made $140 on GameStop shares and $47 on the short call for $187 profit. On Robinhood, I made $130 on the $35 short put only, and that assignment has me down about $40 on shares, so about $90 profit, and 100 shares in my portfolio. Unfortunately, I have to scrap the larger profit on Aries and continue with Robinhood for now. Today is Monday, August 1st, and a few minutes ago, I sold the $35 covered call expiring this Friday for $97 premium. That's the same price I got assigned 100 shares at on Friday. That ought to get me right back on track. Now with this premium flow over 2 weeks, that gives me over $200 cash in my account. So I'm going to commit the profit from last week and some of this week's premium into share positions. Because remember rule number 2, I need 50% into aggressive trades, 50% into long-term holds. I want some naked shares of GameStop just in case I'm wrong about the MOAS and we do break $100 on this thing. So I will first buy 2 shares of GameStop, and then I will use the other 50%-ish for shares of a strong blended growth and dividend ETF called QYLG. QYLG holds the NASDAQ index and then sells covered calls on half of it. That way, you're virtually guaranteeing both monthly income and growth over the long term. QYLG is much better than a similar ETF, QYLD, which sells covered calls on 100% of its position and therefore cannot grow. I personally like QQQX the best, which is a more tax-optimized version of QYLG, but QQX is not available on Robinhood. If you're interested in this, I have a pair of videos on these 3 ETFs. Alright, it is 4:10 p.m. on Friday, August 5th. The market just closed and my GameStop covered call just expired. Now, look where GameStop is right now, $39.80. So this thing just ran away with it. But look where my covered call is, $35. So this thing definitely blew out my covered call, and while I am going to get max gain on this trade, it's not nearly as much as it would have been if I had just held the GameStop shares. But for a portfolio value starting at $3,500, getting to $3,750 is not too bad for 2 weeks. So if we look at the weekly returns, we take the accurate closing price, it's about 6.16% on the week, so it's not too bad. Now I've got this cash in my account, but it's going to be really, really tough to get back into GameStop given that it's run up so far away from my $35 strike. If I were to trade GameStop and I wanted to trade options, wheel back in at the $35 strike, next week, August 12th, unless this thing crashes over the weekend and opens up deep red on Monday, it looks like I'm only going to get $32 for the $35 strike. I'd have to put up more money, which I do have the cash value to do. I can go up to 36, but even $52 for the week, it's not great. I'd have to add more duration to the trade if I want a higher premium. So unless GameStop does drop big over the weekend and opens up deep red on Monday, I'm going to have to choose another ticker. So here's what I'm looking at doing right now. So TQQQ is probably even more aggressive of a trade than GameStop is, and it definitely doesn't have that cult behind it. You could trade these weekly, and if I were to go to the $35 strike and sell the put, we're looking at about $127. And that's slightly out of the money too, so it's not too bad. We can even go in the money. if I think TQQQ is going to go up a little bit. So this is a triple leveraged NASDAQ ETF. When you're a triple leveraged NASDAQ ETF, you're going to have some serious volatility, and this thing's been beaten down pretty tremendously. But this might be a good opportunity to go long in the first place if you have a high risk tolerance. And for this account, I have to, but it's also a great opportunity to sell some options. So this is what I'm looking at right now. I'm going to continue my strategy on Monday of picking up some additional shares. Might buy one more GME and then use the remainder of the cash to buy some QYLG. Anyway, this has been good so far. I want to try to make these videos weekly instead of every 2 weeks. But since I had that snafu with brokers and I was on vacation, it kind of threw things off a little bit. But I look forward to trading with you guys next week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.